Welcome everyone. This is episode 43 of the Transmaxxing podcast, and today's topic is if we should encourage incels to transition. So Val, what do you think about that?
So I think that it is a pretty valid way of conquering inceldom while also helping you live a better life that can be more meaningful in many different ways.
The short
So
answer
I
is
think
yes.
that
So Softy, what is your view on that?
Force all incels to transition.
Just force them, you don't want to make it voluntary.
No, if it's voluntary, they won't do it. So it needs to be done.
Yeah, but what about incels who are productive for society?
They're just being brainwashed. If you're not transitioning forcefully, you're not doing it right. And you shouldn't be allowed on the earth. Like, we got an incel in VC right here. Prime example of someone who should transition. And you could see right now he's not living happy. He's hacking his camera. He looks horrible. He's poor. You need to become rich, and you need to have a better life. And to do that, you need to be forcefully transitioned right here. This is very, very prime example. This is day one, actually.
what better way to get rich than to extract resources from men, of course.
Oh yeah, there's a whole section on that, and it's very detailed. And if you follow it word by word, you don't have to work at KFC like this incel right here. See, he's going crazy. It's just this is like
Look
a
at the
monk.
you see these violent tendencies that
Testosterone.
are happening? You see the violent
Testosterone's going
tendencies?
crazy right now. He's
Yes,
praising something. He's praising something wrong. He should be praising the
the
Transmaxxing
manifesto.
manifesto. Yeah. But right now he's like he's trying to throw up sign language. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
I think that he's saying that he wants a nice, grippy, juicy cock in his tummy.
Yep, and he's saying that he wishes he was on estrogen. Pretty sure. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So, my opinion when it comes to incels and stuff is there's a lot of work when it comes to transitioning. So it'd be much easier for them to actually think about it and make a pros and cons list to see if that's the best way to approach improving their life. There's other ways they could probably improve their life instead though, like improving their looks, their confidence, their status, and that can also get them to have a better life.
And if you don't write out this list, there's also the benefit of the doubt that it just does work. See, look, right now he's got he thinks he has peppers. He just sprayed his camera with Axe body spray. He's actually retarded. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's stupid.
As you can see, the prison model that we've simulated through this VC doesn't do any help. The violent tendencies, they're still there. The weird homosexual innate desires are still there.
What do you think he's saying? Shall I unmute him for a second?
Let's go.
What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to say that I respect my parents both very much. And I have a father, so I don't want to transition, you feel me?
Whoa.
Would your dad beat you if you transitioned?
Hopefully. I mean, that's what a good dad would do, you feel me?
Yeah,
I have a...
muted again.
That's wrong.
No.
Back in the monkey jail.
You're back in the monkey jail.
As you can see, if you don't transition, you'll end up like this guy. And no one wants to be this guy. He's 17 and a half, sometimes claims he's 16, tries to hit on 15-year-old girls. Literally, whoa! See, he's saying yes. He can't even do push-ups. He's weak as fuck, broke as hell. He's actually in the middle of a war, which is unfortunate. But if he was trans, he'd be chilling. because he'd be able to focus on himself. I feel like those are the lowest amount of currency you can get in that country. Yeah, it is. You're broke.
If our subject was transitioned, they would be able to fly and seek refuge in an actual first world country that is much better than Israel.
Oh yeah. Can't even. I think he's just saying "fuck you." He doesn't have any other vocabulary. Is he actually screaming? He's probably just mouthing it.
What's up, girl? I'm a civilized man. I don't want to cause any ruckus around here. But I hope this podcast does well because I have my own podcast. Actually, I need I
Alright, no
need revenue.
self-advertising. He's muted.
So yeah, the official position regarding incels is that it's not really our responsibility to help them. But of course if they do show up here we can try to help them, but it's actually the responsibility of governments to deal with that problem. And our goal here in this community is to help people live better lives, not to pursue social control for the sake of societal stability.
Mm-hmm. He would be saved. I just feel so bad for him right now. Our subject is the world's biggest proof of incel. This is just one of many people who need to be saved.
Yes, ask yourself this. Would you rather be a dangerous incel with violent tendencies that can make you prone to going to jail? Or would you rather transmax and belong in society as a woman that everyone loves?
Exactly.
There's a lot of different factors that depend on if you should transition or not. Like where you live, if you have dysphoria, and so on.
Yeah, of course, I think it works for some of them but not all of them.
Yeah.
So obviously there are a lot of males who would improve the dating prospects if they did transition, because if you cannot get anything as a male you could do a lot better as a trans female. But then of course you have to deal with all the hardships or difficulties that may come if you transition. A lot of areas are transphobic, so it isn't super easy necessarily to just transition and get a better life. I think it works well in some areas and worse in others. And also with all this effort, I think some males prefer just trying to improve themselves as males instead. They might actually benefit more from that. A lot of males do want to have families, have children and all that, and transitioning doesn't necessarily help with that.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing when it comes to the incel issue is if they just stuck with improving themselves in any sort of way, chances are they'd have better dating prospects in a matter of months if they just stuck to it.
Yeah, a lot of incels don't want to put effort into improving the situation. And then, for example, if you have the voice train, I think a lot of incels will give up on that step and not continue. Even if they wanted to transition, they give up after 1 week of voice training or a day or an hour, something like that, and then they give up.
Transitioning takes a lot of effort, so they have to be really dedicated to it.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of incels today don't have that dedication. I think maybe if the dating prospects for males get worse, I think we will see more males doing it and it will become more beneficial for more males. Because then even ambitious males who are willing to try a lot will still end up failing, and then they might try to transition because it's so hard to stay as a male. But right now it isn't actually too difficult to get a girlfriend. So far, when I have tried encouraging incels to transition, posting in their spaces and stuff, the reactions have of course been very negative for the most part, that they think this is the wrong way to escape inceldom. And I think a lot of incels view it as like submitting to society instead of fighting against the system. They feel like they should not have to do that to get a girlfriend. A lot of them think the society itself is like wrong and immoral, and they do not want to like become complacent about that. They want to like keep being this like rebel or whatever. But if you just want to get laid and get a girlfriend, it might be something worth considering if you don't care about those like incel ideologies or wanted to do some revolution. If you just want to get laid, the transitioning kind of works. Or you can like pay a sex worker if that is legal.
Yeah. There's many things that can like help boost your confidence and like help improve if you try to dedicate yourself. I do think that sometimes they do get held back by like a sort of gender dysphoria that they don't even like know about because like they have it so wrapped up in their mind that, you know, they can't be a woman. So when they feel bad about their body, sometimes, you know, that could actually be gender dysphoria that they just can't identify because, you know, they refuse to have that be like an option for them.
A lot of people have internalized transphobia, which really like makes them think that they can't have gender dysphoria.
Yeah, transphobia is very common, and if you have like gender dysphoria while also having transphobic views, you will find reasons not to transition, and you will not consider it for yourself for the most part. And then it only when it gets really bad that they like cave and transition, and by then it might be too late to have a good outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, age plays a big part in your transition and how much you pass and so on.
Another big thing that's probably scary for them is like these incels probably only have this community they go to for like advice and like people they talk with. So if they do sort of transition, a lot of times these incel communities will just like completely like ban them and like exile them. So then, you know, it'd make it like even worse for them because like they're gonna be losing like the only community that they can really talk in. Thankfully, there's a place like Transmaxxing where we can help them have a place to safely transition without any sort of like judgment like that.
Of course, we do have the option to simply force some people to transition.
I do think that like dangerous men who are like very violent should have like forced HRT on them. If not just temporarily or, you know, permanently if they're like very dangerous.
I think the problem I can see if some male is really dangerous, they might be unsafe, they even have losing society. So then of course they will have to be like confined. We can still like force feminize them, but we cannot have them like room free in society if they are that dangerous, because even honestly they might still like hurt other people. And we don't know how effective that will be in like preventing criminality as of now. So we do have hopes that we can find pharmaceutical solutions, like make people less criminal, but we don't really have anything evidence-based as of now.
Don't they like use Lupron for like sex offenders or
Yeah, in
There's
some areas to do that is actually problematic to just give Lupron because without sex hormones it will wreck your health. But the current morality is that that doesn't matter because they are like criminals, who cares? This is like the mentality. But if we actually want to rehabilitate people, we should look into having them transition and see if that will make them less prone to criminality.
yeah.
I think we should also cover why medical transition can be so effective for incels. The reason why this can work really well is that it doesn't just allow incels to like get sex. It also allows them to like get a nice body, to get in touch with other people. to become more femme-brain, which might also help them, like especially socially, because a lot of incels are very male-brain and have a very male thinking. So having them become more feminine and loving and like in relationship with others, it's really what they need.
So this was a repost from someone who deleted their message. I identified as an incel a lot, saw myself as a gremlin and hated women. But when I embraced femininity, the anger and loathing does not carry over. I feel sociable, unwilling to get into fights, have zero hatred for women. If you are trans with dysphoria, I feel like you want me to fail, but I'm just being myself, not your enemy. If you feel like I'm a cancer on your cause, then you gotta kill me because I'm not going on without my feminine side. As someone who was an incel and like has a much more whole life as a result of transitioning, I have to agree. Like it takes a lot of work to get there, but you know, once you're there, like it's very rewarding.
I think the problem is the mentality that like male suffering doesn't matter. This this view that we should like care about like women and children first, and like males who are like adults, nobody cares, will have them like die and suffer. And this is not really a recipe for having a stable society. Because if you actually want to create something that lasts rather than like fuel a revolution, then you do need to keep males satisfied to a large extent and not have like this huge portion of young males who are like unhappy about society and are like waiting for someone to like lead them to a revolution. And to be honest, it's not really something I even care that much about, because I'm not sure if I really want to preserve our current society. But if you do want to build a new better society, you do need to take care of males and keep them happy at least. And not like take away any outlets for males besides like a revolution. I think this marks the end of episode 43 of the Transmaxxing podcast. I hope that you will have a nice day forward and that Moonbug will stop being an incel. Goodbye everyone.